J.Watt has picked a team. Don't pay attention to fake Peloton Twitter. He's going to the Arizona Cardinals. Where'd that come from? The three-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, a five-time Pro Bowler, released last month because, it is now March. J.Watt is rejoining DeAndre Hopkins, his former Texans teammate, in Arizona. Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, rested and ready, back from vacation, and Mark Ross joined me on this edition of NFL Now. Ian, where'd this one come from? Of all the teams we, threw out there and said, well, maybe this one makes sense. The Steelers, his brother is there, the Browns, the Bills. It's the Cardinals.
Surprise. Peloton Twitter was nowhere as far as breaking this story. Instead, J.J. Watt announces himself, a picture of himself lifting weights, what else, in an Arizona Cardinals t-shirt. Yes, he is signing with the Cardinals, a massive deal for really one of the more up-and-coming teams in the NFL. Watt is getting a 2-year deal worth $31 million, so more than $15 million a year, probably more than most people imagined he would make. $23 million guaranteed. As you mentioned, he joins forces again with DeAndre Hopkins, his teammate with the Houston Texans. He also joins Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. They were together in Houston, so some familiarity there. And, of course, a new team, one of the best free agents heading into free agency, off the market, and because he was cut, officially allowed to sign now.
Ian, there were a ton of teams that inquired about J.J. Watt after his release from the Houston Texans, and they were told, if you want to get in on this, it's going to take at least $14 million per year. There were some teams that believed that that was a bluff, that at this age, given J.J. Watt's injury history, he was not going to command that much on the open market. But certainly you can see the way the league valued J.J. Watt, the way the Arizona Cardinals valued J.J. Watt, the fact they're giving him a 2-year, $31 million deal with $23 million guaranteed. They're taking a shot here, pairing J.J. Watt with Chandler Jones on the front of Vance Joseph's defense. They're 13-18-1 in Cliff Kingsbury's 2 seasons. Narrowly missed the playoffs at 8-8 this past season, obviously hoping this is the move that can take the Cardinals over the top and get them back into the postseason.
The Cardinals say they have agreed to terms. J.J. Watt says, source me. Cardinals now confirming as a second source. Mark Ross, this is happening. You team him with Chandler Jones in a very competitive NFC West. Very competitive, assuming Jimmy Garoppolo comes back healthy and the 49ers get back on the winning track. What does this do for the Cardinals?
Well, I think the Cardinals are hoping for not just J.J. Watt's play, but his leadership and the hope he gives them, showing them that those young guys how to work, teaming him with Chandler Jones, giving them that formidable front. But I don't think at this stage in his career, J.J. Watt is that sort of transcendent player on the field. It will be more of his aura, and the Cardinals are looking at the Seahawks, and the Russell Wilson situation is tenuous there. San Francisco, who knows what's going on with their quarterback situation. The Rams are in a state of flux, although Stafford's there now, and they're looking at this as their opportunity. But just being a part of the J.J. Watt side with the money and the surprise, been a part of a lot of free agent signings with the Giants and even the Eagles. And when a player says, it's not about the money, I'm looking to win, what they really mean to say is, somebody show me a lot of money and I'll go there and let's see if we can win.
Yeah, look, I think everybody wants to win. I know with J.J. Watt, that's one thing he was hoping for. But the money is significant. And look, and talk to teams now. Everyone's waiting for what the official cap number is. Is it going to be in the low 180s? Is it somehow, some way get into the high 180s, somewhere in between? There's been a lot of talk about what this free agent market is going to be like. We don't know. There's been no deals that have gotten done. But this is a very good sign. I mean, this is a player who's older than 30, who was released in part because of the big salary he was making, due $17.5 million. He gets $15.5 per year. This is at least a good sign toward free agency. One bit of evidence that teams might be willing to spend a little bit. The other thing here is this is a big-time defensive player off the market. If you take away the franchise tags, there's not going to be a ton of really good, effective, stud defensive players around. Arizona Cardinals get a really good one.
J.J. Watt turns 32 on March 22nd. This will be his 11th NFL season. As mentioned, 3-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He did play all 16 games last year, which is notable here, obviously, considering his injury history. All right, Ian and Tom and Mark, thank you, gentlemen. Stay there for a second. Here's the reaction, by the way, online from the Cardinals. Welcome to the Valley, J.J. Watt. Yes, we have agreed to terms with J.J. Watt on a 2-year contract. Initially, the Cardinals put it on the front of their site, citing J.J. Watt himself. J.J. Watt says he's coming to the Cardinals, and he's leaving Houston.